journalist Sam Briggs sparked a global controversy when she published an article titled "Why Women Hate Me for Being So Beautiful."
Well, at the time, Sam defended her comments right here on This Morning, and now, 10 years later, Sam says women still hate her because she's become even more beautiful with age.
Well, we're talking to Sam next, but first, let's take a look back at the interview which divided opinion around the world.
Everyone's talking about it. 2 days ago, journalist Samantha Brick wrote an article for the Daily Mail asking, why do women hate me for being beautiful?
Women do not like attractive women.
It was the This Morning interview which sparked controversy around the world.
You definitely believe you are very good looking.
Do I think I'm attractive?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Sam Brick's interview quickly went viral online, and her comments made headlines around the world, with many sharing their opinions on social media. But Sam refused to let the online abuse damage her confidence. And now, 10 years on, she's back to tell us why she feels more beautiful than ever. And Sam joins us now, and it's lovely to see you.
Nice to see you. Welcome back.
Good morning.
So, that was amazing to think that that was 10 years ago.
I can't believe it.
That conversation came at a cost. And one of the things I mentioned there was the online abuse. How bad did it get?
Well, at the time, I don't think I was that social media savvy, so I didn't know how to turn notifications on and off my phone and my emails. So I'd get Twitter comments coming straight into my email account when I woke up in the morning, and I mean, there were thousands of them. Just people would just let you have it with two barrels, basically. Really sort of saying what they thought of you, what they thought of your looks, how they, you know, wanted to take your husband off you, and how they wished you'd stayed barren. I mean, it was kind of like the Wild West, really. It's the kind of things that people would just never say to someone face to face, but they would happily say it on, you know, on the cybernet, I guess. Really.
And this was global. I mean, this wasn't just here in the UK. This went worldwide.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really... It sounds naive, but I didn't really understand what it was to go viral then until...
It was early days. I don't think any of us really did at that time.
Yeah, so it... And how back then things like Twitter set the news agenda, really, and because people were commenting about me, it was a bit of a vicious circle, so everyone wanted to know, was I really like that, and what was I really like? And then I saw friends of friends and former work colleagues commenting about me as well. And that was pretty hard to take.
That's hard.
So online, as you say, can be the Wild West, and still is to some extent today. Personally, with the things that do matter, what about your friends? What was the cost personally to you?
Well, when I wrote the article, I actually didn't think it would have the impact that it did at the time, so I didn't tell anyone about it. You know, my husband knows I would write a few articles a month about myself, our life in France and our relationship, just all the kinds of things that journalists like myself normally write about. And so suddenly there was just this kind of, I guess, tsunami of comments amongst my social circle, and then people just certain friends just went, I don't want to have to defend you anymore about the kind of articles you're writing. I guess it comes under that umbrella of confessional journalism. And I think some of them thought, oh, my God, what if she writes about me next, which I would never do. And others thought about, well, I don't want to have to defend you anymore. I don't want you in my life anymore. And it was that brutal. I wasn't ghosted. I was just cut off, basically.
So, I mean, you lost a lot. I mean, it's fair to say it cost you an awful lot writing that article. So 10 years later, a lot of people will question why you're doing it again, because you've written a new article and this time you're... I mean, the world has changed somewhat, actually. And you say a decade later that you feel more beautiful than ever. Funnily enough, I feel like with that bit of the conversation, almost the world's caught up a little bit, because we're all trying to learn to love ourselves and be a bit more accepting of ourselves. Yeah,
I completely agree with you, Holly. And I think that's probably the point that I tried to get across in the first article. I know I'm not a supermodel. I know I would never be on the books of a model agency, but I'm really comfortable in my skin and who I am as a person. And I think looking back, I can see that, you know, 51 now, I can see that's what's rubbed people up the wrong way when they're not that self-confident. So in my 30s and well, in my 20s and 30s, whereas before I'd have said, oh, they don't like me because I'm beautiful. Now I can see, well, they don't like the fact that someone looks good, but that's more about their self-confidence and who they are. And so now, at my age, I'd rather sort of think, how can I build that person up? How can I make them feel good about themselves? And so I think it's really important for women and for men, really, just to kind of, just to sort of, you know, you do you, but work on building up other people's confidence as well.
Yeah.
Well, you look at the articles and think, you know, are you just provocatively poking a stick in the nest? Is that part of what you're doing?
No, not really. I mean, I always... no. That's the short answer. But I always stand by what I write. But I think it's really important for us to look at the slightly ugliest sides of life, the things that we don't talk about. So when we're being faux modest about saying, oh, you know, do you like my outfit? And you know you spent days getting ready and you say, oh, I'll just throw it through this on now. I think it's really important for us to really own who we are and how we look and say, oh, I think I look great today. What do you think?
Well, is there a difference then? Is it because you have spent so much time in France that I mean, we're talking about sort of women here. So the French women or people who identify as women, they would say, you know, I look great. What do you think? You look great. Thank you very much. Whereas here, that we see it countless times. Oh, you look really, that looks amazing. Oh, this whole thing?
Yeah,
there's
exactly. I completely agree with you, Phil. I've said this to a lot of family and friends. If I was still living in London or in the UK, I probably wouldn't have written it. But I wrote it 4 years after moving to France, and just French women are just so self-confident.
I guess the bit that people get a bit confused about when you're talking about building up other women's self-confidence and that actually you need to learn to kind of love yourself and what you have.
Yeah.
But I think that the people have a slight issue when they look at your article because some women, it's like, everyone must love themselves apart from this group of women. And I'll just read what you wrote. You put, having charisma is far more seductive than having a Love Island-style face full of filler, spending hours in the salon to walk out with bizarrely painted fingernails or drop a small fortune on those awful hair extensions. And I think for a lot of women, they feel great like that. That's their choice. It all comes down to choice, doesn't it? To choose to embrace your natural face or to choose to go and have Botox or fillers. Like, it's all choice. Isn't that what it is? Rather than just picking out a certain section and going, oh, that's wrong. That's not going to build confidence in those women. I
think the only reason I flagged that is because a lot of women are spending money that they don't have on those fillers and hair extensions and nail art. And a lot of women, you know, we have to look on certain social media, Instagram type accounts to see that it's sort of becoming normal now. And I don't want to spend a fortune on Botox. And I want women to know it's OK not to have to do that.
But you're still judging.
Am I joking? Yeah, I'm a woman. Of course I'm going to have an opinion. Of course, at the end of the day, you do you. And we should all, you know, celebrate women for what they are. But it's so normal now having to go down that route of, I mean, for want of a better expression, Love Island look. I think it's really important for women to realise that there is another option and the world won't end and you'll still have friends and you'll still fall in love if you don't do that.
OK. All right. Do you ever regret starting this in the first place, that initial article?
Oh, it's such a good question. No, I've spoken to my family and friends before I wrote the second article, though, and, you know, my most sensible sister said, just do it, and my best friend said, please do it. So, yeah, this time round, I did take advice from everyone who matters to me, but, yeah, I don't have no regrets. Je ne regrette rien.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you very much.